Today's challenge is called the Shattered Melody Challenge. The goal is to make a single linear melody and split the notes across all the instruments. So every single instrument in the song has to come from this one pattern, and they can't share notes, and another instrument must play the full pattern. So you can't get funky and make some crazy unlistenable thing. You actually have to play the full melody with another instrument so that it is a real melody and not some funky hack. So this is what the full melody sounds like on that particular instrument. Not too bad. This definitely evolved over time as I worked on all the other instruments. Hearing the whole thing together, it sounds like this. So you can see each of these is a different color. I have them colored by MIDI channel right here. So each color represents one different MIDI channel, and then I have note receivers here for each one of the instruments, filtered by MIDI channel. So the end result is I have one single pattern all the way up here. That's just the notes. On there, I have the 4 different instruments that play independently from that pattern, and then I have this other instrument that receives notes from that pattern but plays all 4 MIDI channels, so you get the whole pattern. So you can see this first note selector. This is just here to be the MIDI input from my keyboard when I was doing the sound design. So if I switch between them, then it just means that anything coming in from my keyboard goes out through the correct MIDI channel so that it sounds right. So we don't have to look at that part. This instrument layer right here, this is where all the magic happens, where everything comes together. So you can see the notes coming in on every channel, and they're going through this channel filter. And so in the bass, it's only taking things on channel 2. On Lofi, it's taking things on channel 3, Sparkles on 4, Sleepy Horn on 5. So even though all the notes are coming in, the instrument only plays the one thing that it needs to play. So I can solo each instrument, and you can see what they sound like individually. The orange is the bass. And for the sound for this, I just wanted it to ring out for a while, since it's going to be basically the first note on most of the beats, and it needs to last because I can't, overlap other notes. So the bass line, you have to hear that bass in the background that whole time. This is just a basic square wave with a little small resonant sweep on a mini Moog filter. The next instrument is called Lofi. I don't remember why, but it's this yellow one. So it's basically an arpeggiated chord that rings out for a while. Basically just have this triangle wave along with the saw wave. The saw wave is down an octave. Just add some body. And then the triangle wave has this little LFO going to make it move around a little bit. And there's a little bit of unison. On the effects, I just added the Juno chorus effect from Pigments. And that's it, that's the whole sound. Next we have the sparkle sound, which is the green notes. Yeah, so this kind of adds some interesting rhythmic character to it. I added a delay to it just so that you can kind of get some extra notes out of this. It kind of sounds like new notes are playing in this area where nothing's playing. That's one of the tricks I tried to use to get around the limitations of this challenge. And the patch for this is also really simple. It's a bunch of triangle waves. One of the rare occasions where I use 2 engines in Pigments. This one's up really, really high, giving kind of a, I don't know, like a Rhodesy transient, I guess I would say. And then the rest of it's just the body. If you turn off the FX, not much going on. And then there's a little bit of unison in the effects. We got a chorus, we got the delay, that you can hear, and then I added the new shimmer reverb and pigments. The shimmer is actually pretty dry. I didn't want it to be too noisy, but it does give it kind of just a little bit of sparkle on top, which is good for a patch named Sparkles. And finally we have the sleepy horn instrument. So this one is almost as busy as the bass. In fact, let's combine them together. These two together, they just sound really good. And this is where the double notes come from here. It's just making sure that the bass and this horn thing, sleepy horn, have some good interplay. So the sound for this is fairly simple FM sound. You can hear it FMing the sine wave over here with just a little slow LFO. And then there's a bunch of effects on the end. So we start with tape echo, just to fill it out a bit, and then reverb. And then some flanger just to make it move just a little bit. It's all, I mean, it looks like it's really wet, but it's also very slow, and so the effect is kind of subtle. Since I only have one pattern to work with, I had to rely on automation to make the different parts come in and out. So you can see the bass volume plays all along, and then the lo-fi sound comes in, sparkles come in, sleepy layer comes in, and then the full melody comes in at the end right before the drums start. And then there's like a little bridge area where everything goes back out again except for the bass and the full melody. So you can hear it. The drums for this are really basic. Kind of a theme for most of these challenges, just because they're not drum based, and so I don't want the drums to distract too much. Basically, got a quiet pulse and a reverby snare, and then I try to make like a tick-tock effect with the hi-hats. Kind of matches the sleepy vibe of the whole song. So this one came out really good. It's one of the ones that had some engineering involved in making it work, which made it really fun to do, just as an actual challenge. Just like, let me figure out some Bitwig features and kind of get this to work in the best way possible for what I'm trying to accomplish, while still being able to do the creative part easily. So if you want to see the whole process for the making of the song, the link to that video will be in the description. I have a whole album full of all of the songs that I made for these 5 days of challenges called Challenge Beast Volume 1 on all of the platforms. There will be a link for that in the description too. So stick around if you like stuff like this. I got a couple more of these coming, and I'm going to try to make one every month going forward. So